In this video, I would like to show you how to create a foreign key, a relationship, and to enforce what is called referential integrity. Referential integrity means that the data being entered into the database is based on a reference between the tables. Let's first look at the world database. Here we have 3 tables. If I look at the structure of the city table, you see that I have a primary key for the ID and a grayed out key for the country code. That represents a foreign key. If I look at the country language table, you see I have a composite key or 2 keys for the primary key, and the country code is here a foreign key. Notice in my indexes, I have the primary key and I have another index. It doesn't say foreign key, but it needs to be indexed in order to be a foreign key. Now I'm looking at the advisors table in the college database. Notice that we have the advisor ID as the primary key. If we look at the structure in the members table, we see the student ID is the primary key, but we also have an advisor ID. That advisor ID is in 2 tables. Supposing we try to enter a new record in the members table and added an advisor ID number that did not exist in the advisor table. Well, we would have corrupted data and run into all kinds of problems. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that you cannot add an advisor ID in the members table that does not already exist in the advisors table. That is called referential integrity. And to do that, you need to make a relationship between the 2 advisor ID columns in both tables. In order to do that, we first have to create an index for advisor ID in the members table. Here you see we have 1 index. Underneath there is a command to create an index. So all I need to do is click Go. Here is my dialog box. I don't need to give it a name. It just has to be indexed. And now I choose the correct column, which is advisor ID. And if you were to preview the SQL, you would see we are using the alter command. Whenever we make changes to anything in the database, we are executing the alter command. So we are adding an index on the advisor ID in the members table. And now I click Go. Now we see we have the grayed out key next to the advisor ID. In the Structure tab, we have 2 other areas, the table structure and also the relation view. If I click into the relation view and I am in the members table, this is where I can add my foreign key constraint to establish referential integrity. And we will leave the onDelete and onUpdate with the restrict command here. The column we would choose is the advisor ID in the member table, and we're using the same database. And now we are imposing the restriction based on the advisor ID in the advisors table. Notice that I didn't even need to click on that. It automatically knew. If I were to click Preview SQL, here is what we're doing. We're altering the table, we're adding the foreign key to the members table, the foreign key being advisor ID, and we're putting the reference to that to the advisor ID in the advisors table. Now I could click Save here and that would do it. I would also like to show you another way of doing it. To get to the designer view, I need to select the entire database. And then I need to move my screen over to show the designer tab And that is available from the More tab here. So from More, I go to Designer. And what it does, it shows me my tables. And I can move these around. On the left, I have all kinds of commands. One is Create Relationship. If I click and now move my cursor over, notice it has this little tooltip with it. It's saying Select Reference Key. The reference key is the advisor ID in the advisor table. So that's the reference table. Now it just changed to Select Foreign Key. The foreign key is the advisor ID in the members table. So when I click, now we're going to create the relationship on this foreign key. Remember, the advisor ID is the foreign key in the members table. It is the primary key in the advisors table. And we're going to choose Restrict, and I'll say OK. Now when I move my tables around, look what I have. This is called a relationship line. And on the left-hand side, there is a command for toggling. It just means you can turn it on and off. What we have done, we have established a relationship between these two tables. Technically, we have established a one-to-many relationship. If you recall, in the advisors table, every advisor is unique. However, in the members table, which can consist of thousands of students, one advisor can be an advisor to many students. The same advisor ID can exist many times in the members table. Therefore, a one-to-many relationship. Now when I go back to the members table, in the Structure tab in the Relation view, notice everything is filled in. It filled it in because we did it from the graphical interface rather than from the form interface. Remember, anything you do can be undone. Should we wish to get rid of this, if we do it wrong, we can go in and we can drop it. If we wish to get rid of one of these indexes, we can drop them. If you wish to delete a table for whatever reason, you can select that table, go into Operations, you can rename it, you can change the collation, the storage engine. You also can drop this. You can copy it. All right, there's drop. And you can empty it. Truncate means to empty the data and leave the structure. Also, as a reminder, you can export tables if you'd like to back them up. You can also export the entire database. And remember, when you're exporting, you need to select the object in the navigation that you wish to export. So if I select the whole database and I click Export, this is giving me the ability to export the tables. So you would get one SQL file that has the code that creates all 4 tables. And that's fine. You can back things up that way. If you were to choose a custom export, you could actually choose which tables and/or structured data to export. You can do other things, and you can actually add the create statement, which actually will create the database so that you can actually have a new database to be imported in, which is what they did for the world database.